So first step for reorientation of our mind is asking. So this could be looked at as introspection of how things work within you or getting deeper inside you, or ask yourself why you are not able to do something that you're trying to do. If you are looking to manifest something, if you are looking to concentrate and your mind is not stable, ask yourself why. And this is something that is important because the quality of our questions will determine the quality of the answers that we get. At times, we will get answers too quick. Like if you say, "Oh," so if you ask yourself, why aren't you able to focus?" You might get answers very quickly. And if you remember, in the last week, we were discussing about uh, when you ask yourself a question, don't just wait for your uh, mind to answer it, because your brain will answer based on the logic, the information that you have. Rather, I would suggest that you have patience and listen to the feeling that you have. You will feel things, but for that, you have to be patient. You may not be able to have that feeling straight away. You will have to be a bit patient. So, this is not a process or step that you only do once. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep asking yourself, and you have to change your question in a way that it becomes more specific, rather than just thinking, why am I not positive? Think of something that is actually taking your mind away from what you're trying to do. If it is some particular memory in the past, or some event around you, or someone saying things to you, or what is actually impacting you, that becomes more important. So more specific we are, the more qualitative we are in this questioning, the better answers we will get, which will help us move on to the next steps. So first step always is to ask yourself, either by introspection. If you don't know what to ask, I would say go with introspection. Just go deep. Just try to look inside. Just forget about everything that you know, everything that you have around you. Just take your concentration inwards. Just try to listen to what your gut says. Your mind will keep throwing many thoughts to you. It will, yeah, take you in different directions. At many times, you will realize that you were lost in a chain of thought. But if you remember to bring your mind back to what you were doing, the question you're trying to ask, or the introspection that you're doing, you will see, with time you will get better, and you will be able to not just ask this question, but also able to get the right answer um, for your question. So the inquiry is the first step, the introspection. So first step is ask yourself why you're not able to do what you're trying to do, or ask yourself if you're trying to change something, right? If you're trying to move into a more positive mindset, more you want to operate at a higher frequency, ask yourself, how can I get there? This could be one of the questions, right? How can I get there? And your mind will definitely give you instant answers. It's instant responses. But then don't just take the responses on the face value, because the responses that you will get will always be based on the information that you have, the paradigm that you have, the surrounding that you have. So your mind always have a way of thinking, way of processing information, and it will instantly go to the most commonly referred area of information. And unless you push your mind a little bit beyond that, the search of mind will not go broader. So that is the reason we ask that I'm asking you guys to repeat this process of asking yourself, introspect if you don't know exact location or exact direction, so that your mind start to go wider in terms of information and tries to get you the right information. If you do not have specific direction, like I said earlier, use it for introspection. Uh, just go deeper. Just try to uh, um, make inroads to who you really are and what your sixth sense or gut really says, and you will be able to get that answer that you're looking for. So this is the first step. The second step is notice the response, and that is the discovery phase basically. So from introspection or asking, we are getting into the discovery phase now. where we are noticing the response. And that's what I was telling earlier. If you ask a question, you will get a response. At times, your mind might be silent based on the question that you ask. And that is okay. If your mind does not come up with the answer, it could be because your mind is only searching in the, again, most referred area of the information, or it really does not know the answer. It could be either of those two, right? If it is repeatedly not giving you answer, you're not able to get the answer, it means your mind is not able to find that answer. And when I say mind, please don't think mind is working on its own. The mind is the life, basically the result of the life that we have, right? So we are not basically asking our brain as such. We are asking our consciousness in that case. When I say mind, it is consciousness. But in our world, we think of brain, we think of body, we think of things of more in a scientific manner. So that is why I'm using the term mind, but it is basically inquiry to your consciousness, the awareness or life that you have. So if you restrict yourself to just mind or just the brain, you will restrict yourself to what you have exposed yourself to. Maybe some of that we remember, and maybe a lot of it we don't remember, because whatever happens in a day, we hardly remember some of the things. Our mind has a way of synchronizing information between conscious mind versus subconscious mind, and some of the information gets stored into permanent memory, some of the information is basically thrown away. So when we are making this inquiry, if we are not able to reach our subconscious state, we would be able to only get information from the conscious state. So that is why it is important for us to repeat. And then when we are repeating the process, just notice the response. You would definitely see the changes in the responses that you get over a period of time. This period could be different for different people, because some people who are able to get deeper, connect at the conscious level or subconscious level sooner, or they have they are better at concentration, they have been practicing meditation, they have been living their life more of a single-minded approach, where we are not doing more than one thing at a time, because singularity is really important for our mind, because that strengthens the concentration. So second step is notice the response, and that's the discovery. And this discovery phase also could be different based on the responses that you're getting. Initially, if your mind gives you some response, you might say, oh, this might be the reason why I am not able to do so. But if you persist with your line of inquiry, of asking questions, you would see your mind will start to give you different responses, and that will further changes your discovery, or it could be a rediscovery. You could consider that as rediscovery, or you can say that you are fine tuning the discovery that you're finding, right? What you're discovering, the response. Once you discover the response is, once you're able to fine tune that, then move on to the next step, which is make a list. And I would say make a list, a physical list of things, or goals or supporting activity. So you know what are some of the things that are stopping you from going into a specific direction. And just one thing I want to add as well, when we are going with our line of inquiry or trying to reorient our mind, one could be why I'm not able to do certain things, or one could be how can I do certain things, right? So it could be looking at the roadblocks, hindrances, bottlenecks of why we are not able to do certain things, or we can only say, okay, I don't want to focus on the negative side or the bottlenecks or something that is not working. Let me just focus on how can I get there. So if you're following that approach, uh, it is always useful to make lists of what are some of the goals and supporting activity. And that the goal, when I say, it is something that you're trying to achieve, right? The list of goals and the activity that help you stay in that. When you get the discovery, your mind will say, you know what, you should do this thing differently. You should do more of this. you should stop doing some of the things that you're doing, and make a list of that. At times, we don't do a good job of documenting what goes through in our mind, and we forget things. And that is how that's how the mind is made of. The nature of mind is such that we have to remind, we have to tell it what is important for us. And if we don't do a good job of reminding it, we can forget things. It only picks up based on the natural responses of our body, the chemicals that we secrete or release, basically, or the way we react to different things. And that those are the cue mind looks for when it comes across any information. If you get really excited about something, you tend to remember it more. If you don't pay much attention, it would say, this information may not be as useful. So let's not synchronize with the subconscious mind and let it pass it through or just discard information when you sleep. That's what happens. So so it is important that we make a list of goals and supporting activities, and that would help you identifying the correction in your approach, in day-to-day life that you're living, in the activities that you're doing, in not just the mental or physical activity, but also the mental activities. And that is important. Once you know what are some of the things you need to do more, you also know at the same time what are some of the things you don't have to do. So correction will help you start to move into the direction that you want to move into. And then when you know that you need to make correction and what kind of correction you need to make, then you reorient your mind to what you would like mind to do, where you would like your mind to focus on, what kind of changes you would like to take on. If it is some habits you're trying to build, you want to suggest that you want to do it. You want to keep reminding your mind. We are creature of habits. So the more repetition we do for something, it builds our memory, it builds our muscle memory, it builds our neural pathways, basically. So when you do something repeatedly, it basically lets your mind know, or lets the conscious know, that it is important. And we want to make that happen. We want to make our mind understand this is important for me. I want to make that change. So that is why we need to suggest, and this is something, again, not a one-time process where you just say, oh, I just want to be positive. We have to do a better job of suggesting something. We have to be more specific when we are suggesting something. If it is just introspection, if you're just trying to go deeper, then suggest to your mind that I wanna be more inwards. I want to focus on inward aspect of my life rather than the outside focus of my life. So uh, those are the kind of suggestion you would have to give your mind, and that would be something that will reorient your mind, or it will start to reorient your mind. And the more and more you follow this process, the more reorientation you will be able to see with your approach, with your thinking pattern, and what you do basically as a result of that. The other thing, once you are able to do so, so we have come from asking where we ask uh, what we need to do or what are the bottlenecks. We discovered, we identified the correction, we reoriented the mind. I guess this is the step that probably will take most time, which is discipline. Many times we don't have as many patience or as much patience basically to keep persisting, because we do also have something or other that is bothering us. Sometimes we are working against time. Something this kind of desire we have is time bound. Sometimes we have other desires or other things that is kind of related to the thing that we are trying to achieve. So at times it is not easy to persist all the time, because we live in a physical world where time is basically of importance. So I would say just be a little patient. Uh, Spend more time persisting with the discipline that you have developed, or make yourself in a discipline of doing that. Keep reorienting your mind. Keep with the practice. Keep up with the practice. Basically, do not give up, and you will see why. I'll try to explain a bit more in the next slide. But if you are disciplined enough, and you let go of activity of people and people not supporting the direction or not supporting the correction or reorientation, um, you would see your mind will start to give you the results that you're looking for. But this is something that that we need to do to strengthen our path, because we always are involved in a series of activity. We always have people around us. We always have situation and circumstances around us. Some of some of that we can change, and some of that we cannot change. And I understand we work under limitations. We cannot change everything, even though we would like to. We cannot just change the people in our life, right? Sometimes they are our spouses, our family members, relatives, close friends, and things like that. And I'm not saying that we change everyone that is not working for you. I would say if you are in a situation where someone is, and again, I do not like to use the word toxic, but they do not support your direction. They do not support your orientation or reorientation. I would say find people who can support you. You don't have to go out on the street and say, "Oh, do you support me in this cause?" Or "I'm trying to make this change in my life." If you go to places where you find people who are similar to you, who are more spiritual, spirituality is something that can really help you. So a motivated group is something that can really help you. Not everyone has to be like you, but if they are motivated, they are positive, they are operating at a higher frequency, higher vibration, and when you talk to them, some of that positivity rubs on you. That's when you know you are in the company of right person, even though they're not giving you something uh, for your direction. They are actually giving you a motivation and a push that you need, as opposed to a pull that you're getting from other people who are not actually supporting your direction. So when you have this question of, oh, I have my family members, I can't leave them, I have this person who uh, is so important in life but does not really support me or understand me, expand your group. There's nothing wrong in expanding the group or finding new people. That is why leaders are more important. That is why a company of spiritual people are more important. That is why a company of positive people are more important. And that's what I think we have realized many times, even in our groups, right? Many people have also uh, told from their experiences, not just from just hearing. I think last meeting, Diana was the one who said that she was completely down and out for the entire week. And even though she joined late, she just joined because she remembered that we keep saying that if you join the meeting, if you are in the company of positive people, some of that positivity will rub on you, and you'll start to feel a little different. And that's what she said when she joined the meeting. She was not in good mood, but by the time we finished our presentation, and even though we were not talking about her situation, uh, we were not even talking to her by that time, in fact, and she felt positive, right? So that's another example of how things changes or how things change for us when we talk to people who really support us, or at least give us positivity. So if you do not have people that can support you, at least surrounding you in your families or circle of friends or circle of people that you interact with, I would say broaden that space. Come to such meetings. I'm not saying come to only our meeting, our group meeting, but whoever you find uh, giving you positivity, supporting you, at least giving you some strength, that's good enough, because we want some of that push in the direction that we want. If that push is not coming from a particular source or the kind of sources that we expect from, there's nothing wrong in finding that push or that source from someone else. Absolutely fine, and we need to find that. And if we are not able to do so, let me give you that also. So if you say, "Oh, I have limitations, I can't go out, I can't meet new people because of certain reason," maybe it could be physical reasons, health reasons, it could be the circumstances that person is not allowed to talk to different people, or maybe something else. One thing I can tell you, the number 6.6 that we are talking about, finding right people, positive people, it is not something that is a must. It is really good to have, but it is for people who are not able to generate that positivity inside themselves. Trust me when I say we all are equal. We all have equal amount of power. Our minds our minds are equally powerful. If you are able to go deeper, if you are able to meditate, be more spiritual, you will be able to see that positivity, that support coming to you. If it is not coming in a from the physical world, you will see that support coming from spiritual world. And I can vouch for that from my experience. I do not talk to many people. The only people I talk to are my office people, and that is not the kind of interaction or the conversation where we can derive positivity. Right? It's always about work, what needs to happen, and then my wife, and then this group. That's it. So I can say from my experience, if you indulge in spiritual practices, if you do a self inquiry or more of introspection, try to actually know who you are, you would see the help comes from spiritual world, and you would see that help is more than sufficient from many aspects. You really would probably not need anyone supporting you, even if someone is criticizing you or not is basically completely against your direction. You would still be okay. You will learn to deal with that as well, and you will learn to develop your defenses in such a way that anything said by anyone or circumstances, even though they are not in your favor right now, will not deter you or defer you from your resolve. So either you have make that practice of self inquiry, spiritual practice, where you get that positivity out of yourself, get the help from spiritual world. If not, if that is something you find difficult, I would highly recommend that you find company of positive people, or if you can have words with your family members or people around you to make them understand that some of the conversations, some of the things that are happening are not actually helping you, I'm sure they will understand. Maybe initially uh, they will not understand as easily, but over a period of time, I'm sure if they love you, they will. But we can talk about it a little later as well if you have questions about it. So that's the step where we are strengthening our direction when we are saying reorient your mind. From there, you will see the change. You will start to see the change bit by bit, but you will start to see the change. And when I say bit by bit, it doesn't have to be small change. It can be a big change. At times, the change comes very quickly. It is different for different people because there are so many other things that matter, that are a factor before something can be decided. Not everything is in our control. There are things that are beyond our control as well, and unless we consider them or take them into consideration, we probably will be setting ourselves wrong expectations. But let's not talk about what are other factors. We have discussed them earlier as well. We can discuss them later as well. But let's just focus on what we are trying to do, which is reorienting our mind. So when you have gone through step from 1 to 6, you will see, you will uh, start to notice the changes, whether it's the way you think, whether it's the way you talk to people, whether it's the way you perceive things, or even though you are not able to make or notice the change yourself, people around you may be able to notice the change as well. It all depends on our degree of awareness, how aware we are of our thinking pattern or the habits that we do. So reorientation is the seventh step where you will notice the change. And final step is when you reorient, when you notice the change, I would say don't give up then. It is just the start of reorientation, right? We just reoriented our mind from our earlier way of thinking. I would say it's important to continue with the corrected actions. This actions, the list that you prepared, activity that supports you, the things that you need to keep doing, keep doing them. Keep doing so that you stay in that reorientation. Like I said, we are creature of habits. Something we do repeatedly becomes a habit. And if you give up on this practice of change that you're trying to bring, you will develop some other habits. We have uh, a vessel. We all are a vessel, right? And there's only so much that can fit into that vessel. If we move something out of that vessel, it means it creates the space for something else to be put into that vessel. And the thing I would like every one of us to do is be more mindful of what we have in our vessel so that we are in more in control. If we are not as mindful of what we put in our vessel, that's when we have all these questions of, oh, I don't know why mind keep drifting, why I'm getting these negative thoughts, why I am not able to concentrate, why my mind gives me 10 different ideas at a different time, why I'm thinking negatively about it or not feeling good about it or whatever. So it's important for us to continue with the corrected actions if it is something that already have help you achieve the goal. If you are trying to get something physical in your life, say if you are trying to manifest something in your life and you already got that, I would say use this practice to go deeper. I mean, again, the same thing. You would say I always talk about meditation or being spiritual because that is something that will make you stay in a zone where you are operating at a higher frequency. Because if you give up, it's very easy for you to start enjoying or basically uh, uh, putting down your guards, being more what, careless about what to receive after that. It's like the same thing. The example that I think I keep giving, and data proves that many people who win lotteries, right, they become bankrupt. More than 80% of them become bankrupt within 6 months of winning the lottery. Why so? If they won the lottery, you would say, oh, they would plan for their future. They probably would do something that can keep them uh, rich for a longer time. They will probably follow the right investment advices, or they will at least do something that keeps at least their life, if not the generation to come, at least living properly. But that doesn't happen because we let our guards so easily. The moment we have money, we start to spend money. The moment we have, we get married, and I don't want to pinpoint, so please don't mind me saying that is nothing about any person. But the moment we get married, we are not the same person. Do we love the same love our spouse the same way like we used to love before our marriage, or do the same thing? At times we take things for granted, people for granted. Small things like we used to do earlier, we don't do as much. It is really surprising at times because um, I was having this conversation with my wife and someone else as well, where we were saying that things change so much after we start to take people for granted. We 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 put a different projection of ourselves when it comes to people outside our house, maybe our friends or society or office or whatever that is, or whoever that group of people is. But when we are inside, we are let's say completely normal, natural, right? At times, I don't know why we become so maybe disrespectful at times, not noticing, not saying thank you enough, not having enough gratitude for people around us. At times, we are cranky, irritated, and I think we say it's okay to have that within inside the house. But I think that is not okay to have, and that's because that's the thing that causes the problems in relationship because we let our guards down. If we stay the way we were, we would still have to, we would still be as important as we were to each other maybe 15 years ago, 30 years ago, or whatever, or 10 years ago, or even 10 months ago. So it is important that we continue with the corrected actions. If those actions are not required, it is something that you have already achieved, uh, then use this practice to either focus on some other positive things in your life, or keep you, or develop some practices that makes you aware of what is going on. You do not want to lose this newfound information, newfound realization about yourself, your mind, or the correction that you just did.